A new program designed to cut Medicare fraud is hurting people who are physically unable to get to a doctor.
It's making them jump through more hoops before they can get transportation for crucial care. Investigative reporter Chris Horne has more on the unintended consequences. Chris?
Anita and Tom, this pilot program involves disabled people who need regular, non-emergency transportation for treatment, especially dialysis. Patients and ambulance companies both tell us the effort to catch Medicare cheaters is creating a burden for the ones who play by the rules.
About 4 weeks ago, I had fell, and I had to call 911 to get me off the floor.
Gladys Goodhope has a tough time getting around, and if you had her medical history, it'd be tough for you too.
I got diabetes, I got leukemia, I got congestive heart failure, and I got high blood pressure.
So she spends most of her time at home in bed, unless it's dialysis day. 3 times a week, Gladys needs what's called non-emergent transport. Under a pilot program that began this year in Virginia, Gladys and others like her must get pre-approval for the ambulance from Medicare.
I gave them a letter from the doctor telling them that I had to be on the stretcher.
But the rules of the program clearly say even that is not enough. So 2 months later, Gladys still doesn't have approval for a service Medicare had previously reimbursed for her for years. Mike Motai runs the ambulance service that used to transport Gladys.
We've had maybe 10, 12 dialysis patients, and we've had to let go of about 4 or 5 because of the new Medicare policy. Yeah.
Motai started Swift Medical Transport last spring with 4 ambulances. As one of the smaller companies, he says he can't afford to make free runs without knowing when or if Medicare will cover them. Here's the new process. The patient's doctor must complete a form that certifies both the need for the transport and for the medical treatment, even if they've been transported for years. Medicare then evaluates the letter, but also the patient's medical records. If denied, the patient can either pay out of pocket or try to get Medicaid to pick up the cost. But that still means Motai is coming up short.
I can tell you right now that I get half as much. Half is a big cut. I get half as much as what it was before.
And Motai says for the patients, of course, the stakes are much more critical.
What does the patient do if they don't have Medicaid? They've been just missing dialysis. And you miss dialysis, you die. It's a life-sustaining treatment.
Medicare says the new rules are designed to cut costs and fraud. They report ambulance transport payments increased 130% to $4.5 billion from 2002 to 2011. Motai gets that.
There are a lot of companies who commit this kind of fraud where they'll pick up a patient and take them by stretcher, claim medical necessity, and when they get home, they're riding their bicycle.
But he says the number of honest people being hurt is greater than the number of cheaters being caught. Gladys Goodhope, meanwhile, has found another service that can work with her while she tries to get Medicare to come through. She says she's not just looking for a free ride. And Medicare says it cannot comment about Gladys Goodhope or any other specific cases. Medicare says data shows a 20% increase in fraudulent ambulance claims, but that report was completed 10 years ago. We also asked for evidence that the new pilot program being tested here in Virginia is actually curbing any costs and reducing any fraud. Medicare says it expects to begin releasing results on that in the coming months. Now, the broker for Medicaid says it has seen an increase in ambulance claims. The pilot program will run until December of next year. We have much more on this on wavy.com. Chris Horne, 10 on your side.